Jacob sold over $100,000 worth of leads in under 45 days after switching over to the pay per lead model. And in today's video, he's going to do a special training where he's going to show you exactly how he did it and some of the concepts that you need to know when selling leads through your pay per lead business. And I'm excited to share this call with you guys for absolutely free on YouTube. But Jacob is actually going to be a regular coach in our Leadbase Pro. He's going to be joining myself, my business partner, and our other coaching team that you can get access to for just 99 bucks a month. So if you want to see part 2, 3, and 4 of Jacob's training and then get Q&As with him every single week, you're going to want to join Leadbase Pro for 99 bucks. It's 99 bucks. That's crazy. And the price is going to go up once we hit 450 members. The first time we've ever raised the price. So if you want to lock in for 99 and stay at that price forever, join now by clicking the link in the description, and I'll hand it over to Jacob here to kick off his training. Hope you enjoy it.
First and foremost, welcome everyone. This is exciting. My job is very straightforward. It's to, in the next 2 hours, make you richer, okay? And I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. You will hopefully learn from me. I don't care about bollocks or foolishness. My job is to give you the game, and that's it. So if you ask any stupid questions, I will let you know. And if you don't ask stupid questions, then I'll be your best friend. That being said, let's hop into some magic, and I'm going to share some stuff that hopefully is going to make everyone a little bit more money. Cool. Okay, so I will preface this by saying I did use AI to make some presentations. So if I do need to go back and and order any bits of this, I'll let you know as we go on. But we'll get on with it. We'll continue and get into some stuff. So topic of today's call, we're going to do about 30 minutes, I'd say, of theory, and the rest just going to be pure Q&A, answering offer questions, sales questions, marketing questions, anything you want. The topic of today is how to get so damn good at turning strangers into clients you can't stop making money. That's the goal, right? Whenever you run an ad, whenever you do outbound, what you're looking to do is turn a stranger who doesn't know, like, and trust you into someone who's paid you hopefully thousands of dollars for your time and services, right? Cool. So let's continue. So we'll get into it. So just to show I'm legit, I guess, because it matters nowadays, right? We launched our pay-per lead offer January 5th of this year. So far, up until today, we've closed $114,000, which is all right, pretty decent, I'd like to think, in new cash collected without having a brand, without having a personal following. Like, you look me up on Instagram, I think I got 260 followers. So, hey, it came from scratch, from nowhere, just from understanding these best practices and stuff I'm going to share with you guys today. A lot of this stuff is like very theory based. We're going to get in some like real practical sales, marketing, all sorts of stuff, bits and some following calls. But today we're going to talk on the genuine foundations, the stuff you need to know to turn strangers into paying clients. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's start here. What is the goal of marketing, right? A lot of people, if I was to ask that question, I think you give me a bunch of, for lack of better words, bollocks answers. The goal of marketing is very straightforward. It's to turn a stranger into a paying client. That's it, above everything else. So the content, the ads, the funnels, the outreach script, the strategy, the AI, the SaaS that you use, it's all just means to an end, right? You have to assume when you're going into the world of marketing and competing with guys like me who will be marketing for the same clients as you, maybe we're in the same niche, I don't know, that these people owe you nothing. It's your job to sell them on every single step of the process, from the first glance when they first see your cold DM or when they first see your ad, all the way to the handshake when they sign the onboarding contracts and they pay you the fee, right? Now, just before we go and get super deep, I want to clarify something. This applies to the 2 ways of doing marketing. Now, there are actually 3 ways of doing marketing, right? There's one-to-one, which is cold outreach, right? So cold DMs, emails, calls, right? Anything that's direct, one-to-one to a person, right? And there's one-to-many. One-to-many is ads, content, SEO, which is where you produce one marketing message and it reaches hopefully hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Now, there's one more version of that, which is affiliates, which is one-to-one to many, but for most of us in here, it's not going to be very relevant for us in the short term, but affiliates is basically the same thing. All these best practices still apply. Cool. So one thing that I want to start with, like a genuine, hopefully mind blower that will help you guys massively, is how to sell every single step, not just the step, not the staircase, if you would. One thing that I've seen, so I've run a B2B consulting offer for the last year, scaled that to multiple 6 figures a year, and then this new offer we scaled this now on a 7-figure run rate within like 40 days, right? So I've seen every offer and even then I was running info offers before that, right? I've seen every offer under the sun. I'd like to believe, right? It's probably not true, but where a lot of people go wrong is what they want to do is they want to sell like the whole thing up front. So I've seen, and we'll do a Q&A, I will do some ads, some funnels, what you guys are running right now. But what a lot of people will do is they'll say, buy my AI SEO, blah, 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 blah thing, right? And what they're forgetting is that they're asking someone who doesn't know them to take a massive leap to go ahead and book a call and or convert on their product before they've even given the rationale to just click the ad in the first place. So the reason that my ads and the reason that my organization is able to scale so quickly, and what I'd like you guys to do as well, is you sell iteratively. Now, anyone who is in here who's married or is engaged or whatever will understand the idea that when you met your significant other, if you're a man, or when you were courted by your significant other, if you're a woman, right? Men, let's be real, if you walk up to your dream girl and go, we're going to get married, we're going to have this many kids, we're going to live here, we're going to have this many cars, right? She's going to go, whoa, hold on, buckaroo, right? Slow down a little bit. Let me get a restraining order real quick. Why does that matter? It's because selling is an iterative process. First, you sold the first date. Then or maybe you sold getting the phone number, I don't know. Then you sold the first date. Then you sold following up, if you would. And whatever your closing process was after that, that's your business. But let's be real, you didn't go ahead and pitch her the 30 years of marriage the first time you met her. So stop doing that when you're trying to sell your services on the front end. Okay? Does that make sense? If anybody got some value from this, just give me a thumbs up. I can see a few people, but cool, great. Now, we want to sell many different places. We want to sell micro commitments throughout the entire journey. So first off, if running ads is specifically for ads, but same thing works for outbound. You want to sell the scroll stop with a visual that catches people's attention. You want to sell the click by making it brain dead easy for people to go ahead and click through on the ad. You want to sell the first action. If you've seen my Perspective podcast, you will know that the way that I run my funnels is very weird, right? We don't have a VSL. We don't have a big real headline. We just said, do you want X or Y? Do you want dream outcome? Yes or no? Right? And then I even go further than that. I make the no sound stupid. So, for example, on our current funnel, it's like, no, I don't want new clients, right? Who in their right mind clicking an ad about growing their business says no, they don't want clients? And the reason this is good is because it increases your conversion rates down the funnel. The more people you get top of funnel, the more people get back the funnel. But then carrying on, you want to sell the call, right, on your booking page or whenever you're pitching calls. And then it's a key one. If you're suffering with low show rates, you want to sell the show, right? A lot of people, they do what I like to call selfish marketing and sales, where they assume because someone's booked a call, they owe them to show up. Respectfully, I don't owe anybody my time. You don't owe anybody your time. So why should a prospect who's booked in with you just owe you their time? They don't. You still want to sell the show. It's an iterative process, right? So yeah, there's that. We're going to keep going. Now, we'll start with how to sell the scroll stop, right? Now, this is a bit of a weird one to put into offers, but the reason this is valuable is because this is like, your offer isn't one thing. What a lot of people get wrong is who here knows the whole Moses style offer? Like, I help XYZ do ABC or guarantee. Who here knows that offer? I'm assuming a few people, right? Cool. Now, what if I was to tell you that my offer on ads is different to my offer on my calendar, which is different to my offer on my pre-call email sequence, which is slightly different to the offer that we have on the pitch deck. Now, it's still congruent. We're not what's it called? Bait and switching people, not by any means, right? But the offer on the ads all the way through the funnel is a different thing. It has to be a different thing, because what's going to get someone to just take 5 seconds to click an ad is completely different to what's going to get someone to spend $5,000 with you up front. Can we agree on that? Oh, we should agree, right? So the way you sell the scroll, stop is very straightforward, right? So first off, compelling visuals if you're running ads. I've found, weirdly enough, that my best performing ads are like neon greenish, dark bluish, or pink. Why? Couldn't tell you, but it's got to be something different than what people see in their feed. I imagine there's some value there, right? A killer headline. Now, we'll get into the headline in a second, right? But I'll give you guys a quick breakdown. If you are spending less than $1,000 a day on client acquisition ads, you only need to run your value proposition as an ad. You do not need a fancy AI unique mechanism, yada, 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 because Meta's targeting algorithm is so comprehensive. You just don't need to do that. My best performing ads to this day, we spend, I think, about 1.5K a day on ads now. We've scaled it up recently, right? Is get 5 million AUM for wealth managers. That's it, right? So maybe if you're in insurance, it would be get XYZ deals. Maybe if you're working with lawyers, get XYZ settlements. Maybe if you're working with realtors, it's get XYZ CGI, right? The only reason that's important is because at its most basic, right, people only care about what's in it for them, and they really just want that outcome, unless you start scaling into massive amounts of spend where you need to diversify your value proposition, your angles, etc. right? And the final thing we're selling the Skool Stop, speak their language. Oh my gosh. If I see an ad today from someone who brings it up, right, and you're selling to realtors, but it says get high ticket clients, right? I don't have this power of Ryan, but if I did, I would actively remove you from this community. What on earth are you doing? Speak their language, right? You don't sell top goal scorer to a basketball player, right? You don't sell get more rebounds and assists to a golf player, to a golf, what is it, a golfer, right? So why would you sell something that's not speaking the language of your market and demographic? This is very simple. Go on Reddit, go and search up client acquisition niche, and then you'll see the language they use. Do they use liquid net worth? Do they use qualified appointments? Do they use introductory calls, discovery calls? Speak their language. You do those three things, you are going to stop the scroll more effectively than anybody else, no matter what mechanism you use to do your outbound. Right. So, for example, let's use the same example if we're doing outbound DMs. Right. If I send a meme, right, which is Bart's face like this, going got ya, right, and said, hey, I saw you in the Epstein files, killer headline. Joking, by the way, I help founders XYZ speaking their language. Would you be interested in that? That's got a much higher probability to get someone to stop and open their DMs and like, hey man, hope you're doing well, man. I help. Come on, right? Is that some game? Yes or no? Someone drop me some thumbs up or something. I don't know. We'll keep going. Cool, amazing, great. Now here's the rest of it, right? So once you sold the click or the first interaction, that's the very start of your relationship, right? For my chaps in here, as you guys will know, at some point in your life, once you've got the phone number, doesn't mean you're married yet, right? We've all got one, and it's been ignored. It's part of the game, and the same thing goes for marketing and sales, right? So then you want to learn to sell the next step iteratively. So first you sell the click, then you sell the first action. So you want to make the choice of saying no to booking a call, even if you're doing cold outbound, illogical. So for example, what's the better script to follow up with someone who said yes, they're interested? Is like, okay, let's book a 30-minute call, or is it okay, great? I'll tell you what, let's book a 30-minute call. I'll show you what's working in the market, and even if we don't get started, you get some clarity on what could work for you. Come on, which one's going to convert you? Light work, right? Should be easy. Shouldn't even have to think about it. You want to make it hard to say no. Then with the call, again, I guess it's kind of an extension of that. You want to sell the next step as a logical solution, and then you want to sell the show up, right? Sell trust, nurture. Turn these people into cold prospects into warm, trusting friends before they even show up, right? I believe that you got 72 hours before the call starts to turn someone into a paying customer. If you're doing that on your sales calls, you're doing something wrong. That's my opinion, right? And we'll get into some really cool advertising stuff on the next call, but that's it for now. Great. So there are 5 levers for making your offer better wherever in the funnel you are communicating it, right? The reason this is really important is because human beings have something we call the lizard brain. The lizard brain is made to filter out information we've seen before. Now, if every single one of you took a 360 in whatever room you're in right now, and you were able to consume 100% of the information that was around you, you would probably have a stroke instantly because there's too much data. There's too many smells and sounds and noises, and sounds and noises, the same thing, whatever, right? There's too many things going on. Right. So the lizard brain is our brain's way of filtering out information. I've seen this post-it note before. I've seen this ring light before. Filtering out the information, only bringing to my attention new information. Right. Is this person following me? Is this going to make me money? Is this a good offer? Those are the things that it's made to filter out and find that information. And there are 5 ways to bypass the lizard brain in any marketing copy that you're doing. So first off, better. Promising superior results. Right. I offer 10 leads, you offer 12. Cool. Next, faster, right? I offer 10 leads in 10 days, you offer 12 leads in 4. Cool. Next, cheaper. Now, I would clarify, for nobody in this room, pull this lever, please. For goodness sake, do not position yourself as cheaper. It will not work out in the long run. When you are cheaper, you get cheaper clients. When you get cheaper clients, you have a harder time growing your business. That's the reality. But it is a lever, right? Next, new, right? Why are the AI offers blowing up right now with no real good value proposition? Because it's new. Today, me and my team invested like $3,000 in an AI dialer, right? I saw that ad and it was like, well, this is a new AI dialer getting this many response rates. Oh, okay, cool. I'll check it out. And then finally, exclusive, right? You have one of these 5 levers, you're going to bypass part of the lizard brain. You have 2 or more, you're going to be great. Now, for me, for clarity, right? First and foremost, because nobody's ever seen my ads, I would automatically have the new level in a way, right? But I've also got better, faster, and exclusive because on my ads it says, hey, only accepting this many people. It says get results in this many days. It says, hey, this many leads or this much AUM or your money back. Like my offer is simply better than our competitors just based on these 3 levels. Does that make sense? And before we go any further as well, just a quick note, anyone who's looking to run ads, you've got to understand the game you're playing. You are playing the game of auctions, right? You pay a little bit of money to buy attention from Meta from a group of people, right? So you better make that worth it. Just because you've bought that attention doesn't mean Meta like owes you a conversion. So the better you make your offer, the more conversions you'll have on the back end of that. But we'll keep going. Now, what does each level look like in the wild? Okay, there's the AI for you. So better, get 3 times more leads than traditional cold outreach, faster, yada, 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 cheaper, new, exclusive. It's all very straightforward. Come back, watch the recording if you need this again. Cool. Now, we'll get on something real important, right? There was a call a couple, I want to say 3 weeks ago, Ryan, and a chap hopped in and he had a SEO offer and he was kind of selling a whole all-in-one website solution and XYZ, and it looked really cool. The problem is the way he conveyed it, I could not care less. I was probably his ideal demographic, but it wasn't selling what I actually want. Now I'm going to tell you how to make your offer good in 3 clear steps, right? First and foremost, have one clear avatar. I'm not talking about a general niche. For example, for our ads, we are targeting young wealth managers who have capital but don't have a good way to grow, right? Because they haven't got a book of business. That's a niche of a sub niche. So that's financial services down to IFAs and wealth managers, down to IFAs and wealth managers between 25 and 45. That's a sub niche of a sub niche. Hence why I get such cheap cost per book call because I'm speaking directly to them. Now, for clarity, whenever I launch a new campaign target, a slightly different sub niche, I'll launch a completely new funnel for that because it's different marketing angle, it's different offer that they want, it's different outcome they're desiring, right? If I was targeting people 65 plus who are looking to retire, I'd say, great, fill your team's coffers with leads so you can retire peacefully. That's a completely different offer. If I was targeting 2 different demographics, the same offer, it wouldn't convert. That's something to know. Next, one unique mechanism. Now, this isn't intrinsically necessary. You don't have to do this, but it does help. It kind of plays into the new in a way. So if you have a unique mechanism, use it. And then finally, one specific measurable outcome. Everybody in who's selling leads should have a measurable outcome. If you cannot articulate how you're going to help people, you need to go back to the drawing board. That's just the reality of it, right? And a secret I'll let you know as well is sell the biggest offer possible, right? Because if people don't qualify for that, you can downsell them what they can get. And if people do qualify, then they'll actually buy. If you sell the lower offer, then only the people who are small will ever opt in, right? Just a little tip there. All right, and then here's a template for it. I have avatar achieve outcome using XYZ mechanism. Cool. Now, in terms of how to make sales, right, there are 3 parts of making a sale, right? And this applies throughout the entire funnel. There are 3 parts. So it's the person, the target, the offer or the exchange of value, and the third, the call to action. And in order to make successful sales, no matter where you are in the funnel, your offer must be worth more to the person than the cost of taking action. I'll say that again. The offer must be worth more to the person than the cost of taking action. That applies in clicking the ad. The offer of clicking the ad must be worth more to the person. Booking a call must be worth more than not doing that or wasting their time. Showing up, the hour that they might spend with you has got to be worth more than the hour they would spend elsewhere, right? And the way to do that is by increasing your perceived value. So if the higher your perceived value is, the greater your ads or your performance or your outbound will always perform. So you can stack bonuses, you can make the offer the outcome more specific and desirable, you can remove risk from the decision, right? So you'll walk away with a free game plan regardless of whether you get started or not. That's a great way to increase your show rate, isn't it? Like, hey man, you're struggling with this thing, even if you don't buy from me, I'll tell you how to improve your life. But like, hey, you might as well show up though. Shorten the time taken to get the result. Again, for us, for example, like our calendar bookings, for example, are 30 minutes. Secret though, we have a 30-minute post booking slot, which make it seem like the call is actually 30 minutes, but most of the time it's really an hour, right? And then obviously social proof and case studies obviously always help. But if you don't have them, you don't need them. I started this off with 0 case studies. We've done 114K since the start of the year. So don't give me an excuse about case studies. Next. Cool. Next thing is desire, right? Now, desire. Has anybody read the book Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz? Has anybody read that? Nope. Nope. Okay. It's great. It's supposed to be the world's most expensive marketing book. You can just find it on some back alley Reddit link for free. So just go do it. Make sure you've got a good pop-up blocker sort of setup though, or you're gonna have some questionable things. But that being said, um, breakthrough advertising speaks about desire. Now, all desire is when a group of individuals all collectively agree they want something, right? So let's say today that all clean water in your city went out, right? The desire for bottled water would skyrocket. Do you remember during COVID when people were fighting over toilet paper, right? That was because a mass of people just overnight decided they wanted this thing, right? This is really powerful for advertisers because you can align your thing to the market's desire. If the market's looking for, and this is really important to know, there are different levels of what people like or what people are looking for. Your market might not actually want, for example, CGI for realtors. They might just want more qualified appointments. Those are sorts of things you've got to do your market research and understand. And all you've got to do here is align your value proposition to the desire of the mass market, right? Because at any one given time in your market, there is something that everyone's talking about, right? Right now, there are 42 people in here. This is not my group. Why? Because there is desire for people to get more clients, right? So as long as you can align yourself to that desire, again, your offer is going to be better. Next, what's in it for me? So, I like to make not clicking an ad a stupid choice, or not clicking a funnel a stupid choice, or not booking a call like a genuinely stupid choice, right? Um, so we'll kind of compare a couple CTAs here and see how we feel with them, right? So a weak CTA is yes, I want more clients, or no thanks, I'm not interested. No thanks, I'm not interested. It's very easy to say. No, right? However, stronger is yes, I want 3 book calls this week versus no, I have enough revenue. Let's be clear, right? One of the great fallacies of business owners is never enough for most of us, right? It's never enough. So you can align yourself to that, you're going to win. Now, this is a fitness offer. I guess I took this when I was creating this from a fitness offer we built. But yes, I want to lose 20 pounds without giving up pizza, or no, I want to stay stuck. I think you can come up with a better CTA. I would say no, I want my friends and family to keep thinking of me as a fat friend. That would be a way better yes or no, value proposition, right? The more drastically you can contrast the yes with the no and uplift the value of the yes, the better people will go ahead and click through. But this is just how we run our funnels. Um, yeah, I guess we can talk about friction. By the way, just a quick pause because we've spent about 20 minutes so far talking. Do a quick pause for any Q&As. Let's do a little 7 minute. I'll put a timer on. Any questions so far on what we've covered? First to speak, first serve. There we go. Yeah, Pablo, go ahead. You can just turn your
The
mic. Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Okay, awesome. I think for me, the biggest thing that I paid attention to naturally, because it's like my situation, was
Mhm.
what do you have any frameworks or personal experiences that help you pick your client avatar as specifically as possible, especially in like a big market like insurance, for example, where there's every type of agent imaginable?
Yeah, great question. So here's the magic, right? Follow the money first. What a lot of people will do, and I think this is it's not intrinsically wrong, but I think it's not the way to run a business, is they'll go like, oh, who do I want to work with? Oh, who would be my best fit client? I personally like to go, okay, who can pay me and who's in the most pain, right? So in your market right now, there is going to be a sub-demographic of a demographic who's in the most pain. Maybe they're allowing seasonal offers, and because it's just ended, winter's just ended, they've got a pipeline that's absolutely dry and they don't know what to do with themselves. I'd target those people, absolutely. Maybe, for example, um, the older guys, right, have seen the younger guys implement ads and AI and they've just fell behind, and that's making them more in pain. So you kind of want to focus on the intersection of two things, right? The pain, right, and their actual pockets. Like, what if they got as pocket change to invest in a solution? If you've got a market who has a high amount of pain and a high amount of capital to invest in it, that bit right there, that's golden, man. That's a lot of money for you right there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But yeah, for sure. Because in my experience, what's worked the most, I don't know, maybe it's from my ads what I've been attracting, but I find it very easy to get a lot of short, quick sales with like individual agents, and I've thought about crafting my offer towards them. But
Mm,
then when I'll get one bigger client that will buy a package worth of 9 of those individuals in just 15 minutes. I'm like, "Huh." But to
Well,
get to that person, it's a lot
okay.
harder than, like,
So,
the
so
quick.
here's the thing. Great thought and great point, but I wouldn't change anything if that's the case, because what you're really doing is you're allowing the smaller clients to finance your acquisition of your bigger clients, right? There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. One of the things that was hard in this space to kind of accept is that not everyone will work with you forever. Like I've got a, I set out with my team, say like we want a 100% reorder rate for every single bleed, that blah 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 blah. But that's just not the case. Not everybody has a financial, stomach for that, the risk tolerance, etc. But if you are able to profitably acquire clients, Pablo, change nada, change nothing. Okay, if you
Yeah.
can put $1 in and get $2 out, don't touch it, bro.
Okay.
Cool,
Yeah. Thanks.
cool. We've got 4 minutes, so who's next? Any more questions before we move on?
Yes, maybe do you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, sorry for my English, I'm French. How many questions did you make time?
Sorry, say again.
Form you made contain
Oh,
how
the
many
the audio is cutting out again. Say it one more time for me, fam.
the biggest form you made? How many questions contain?
In the form for client acquisition.
For prospect exactly.
The biggest form was
Qualify
maybe
them.
five questions. The smallest has been none. If you've got a really highly conditioned pixel, like I've sent, I've sent traffic with a landing page, like with a headline just to a calendar page, and just be like, book him. But then if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be really aggressive on unbooking people, canceling appointments, etc., etc., etc. But hey, honestly, if you're short for cash, I wouldn't say that's a bad move. But yeah, I'd say like anywhere upwards of 5, you're starting to move into like you need to have very sophisticated sales systems and very good AOV to justify that, because the more friction you have in your funnel, the higher your cost per result will be. And all you want to do is turn a little bit of money into more money. And if you are able to consistently do that over a period of time, whilst consistently delivering better and better client results, give it 3 months, you got yourself a real business.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Any more questions, or should I keep going? Give me a thumbs up if I keep going. Give me a thumbs down if you got a question. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, cool. Let's get back to it. Chris, go on. I saw one thumbs down, so we'll answer that. Go ahead, Chris.
Wait,
All right.
I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was in class. I know you mentioned AI and stuff, and I was just wondering, like, what would you say is the best way to use AI to kind of assist you in picking out which ads to kind of put out, since you already know what works, but like, how do you use AI to sort of refine that?
Great question. Okay, so I'll give you guys a genuine. Oh, this is gonna blow your minds. Oh my gosh. All right. You want to know how to create great offers that your market actually wants? Download a Chrome extension called Reddit Scraper, right? Go on to Reddit, research your niche, say XYZ demographic, problems getting clients or client acquisition strategies or whatever, right? Click the Reddit Chrome extension. It will scrape every single comment on that Reddit, download that as a TXT file, upload it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you the answers. Because then you've got direct from the market how they speak, what they want, what they're asking for, what their pains are, etc., etc., etc. You ain't even got to worry about
Thank you for that. No, that's
that.
smart.
Cool. Man, y'all should pay me. Oh, listen, man, I can't believe it was for free. Anyway, cool. So coming back to the process, we'll get on with the next steps then. So, next thing we'll talk about is friction. Now, friction is a very simple idea. Friction is simply the number of steps someone needs to go through in order to get the value proposition from you. That could be on an outbound dial, the number of questions they need to answer. That could be on a funnel, the number of questions they need to answer to get to the booking page. That could be on a booking page, the number of qualifying questions I've got to, on Go High Level, you can do that. Are you a yes or no? What's your income? Blah, blah, blah. Friction is great if it's used strategically. So if you're running ads, quick rule of thumb, my suggestion would be this: start with 0 friction and slowly add friction as you continue to scale up, so that you can know where the middle ground is in between what too much friction and what too little friction looks like. When you have no friction, you will have I don't want to say terrible lead quality, but it won't necessarily be the best in the world for transparency. But the more friction you have, the lower your cost per result volume will be, the lower your result volume will be, which will mean essentially you're paying for nothing. So start with no friction, add friction as you go along. Don't know why this is in the offer call, but here, cool. Now, okay, great. So this is, I'm going to cover something that I cover this in my onboarding calls and my launch call with my current clients, right? And this is something that is really important, which has allowed me and my team the best practices and the mindsets that we go into every engagement with, every offer with, to go ahead and get the best results out of it. So these 4 principles essentially separate us with the fact that we've been able to just rip it on ads versus, you know, people who maybe aren't necessarily, you know, crushing it right now and just making it, I want to make your life easier, right? So first and foremost, as we spoke about, you are always selling. Whether you like it or not, guys, people are looking up your website. If it looks crap, that's going to take away from your sale, right? The fact that, for example, right now, what you guys don't see, I've got some nice lighting behind me. This is just a lamp, all right? It's just a lamp facing my wall behind me, but a bit of background lighting, elevates your setting, blah, blah, blah. I said this on a different call the other day. I don't know where they are right now, but I have some red light glasses, right? When I'm wearing them, my close rate is higher for whatever reason, right? You're always selling. In every email, every ad, every interaction, you're always selling. So you need to make sure that your sales argument and the way you present yourself is congruent, right? If you promise people $1 million in leads in 30 days, right? But you've got I don't know, one half of your mustache shaved and you look like you just came out of a boxing match with Mike Tyson, people are probably not going to believe you very much, right? You are always selling, look the part, show up right. That's A. B, show rate, honestly, to me is more important than cost per call. I will eat a $200 cost per call if my show rate is 100%. Because a $50 cost per call with a 10% show rate is worse, right? And I've seen that in campaigns before. I've seen that when happening with clients. So when you're optimizing your campaigns, if you haven't done anything in your pre-call sequence, do it. In fact, I will just go ahead and say this, just go watch my podcast and just take all the hacks from that. Pre-call email sequence, breakout rate, page VSL. We'll cover that in another call as well. But your show rate is the most important thing. Next thing, volume wins, right? I'm going to break a hard truth to you guys. That's not a lot of people want to hear, right? So there's 2 types of people in here. There's type people A. You should be running ads. You know you should be running ads, but you're too scared for some reason. If that's you, for goodness sake, grow a pair, stick some money on Ads Manager, put it on red. It's gonna happen, you know. Like, so else happens, man. You spend $50 and you get 3 book calls, and then oh no, you got 3 people to work in your pipeline. And the other group of people is, and this is okay because I've been there. There is no money for you to go ahead and generate ads and XYZ. You know what you need to do? You need to do more volume than you think is even feasibly possible. For goodness sake, I want to clarify, right? If you're in my market, right, you're competing with not only my great direct response ads, I run video view ads for propaganda, I run follower ads retargeting people who didn't book a call but hit my funnel to build more rapport with them. I run testimonial ads as propaganda ads to continue building the sales process, top of funnel before they've even seen us. Bro, listen, man, you want to target my market, you're going to have to dial these people 1,000 times a day. That's the truth. And whether you like it or not, you go into any one of the demographics that you're in right now, those are the people you're competing with. I'd class myself as maybe top 2% marketer. There are people in your market right now who are top 0.5%, the best of the best, and you want to compete with them doing $10 a day. Come on, do more volume. Volume wins, for goodness sake. Genuinely, yeah, you don't want to hear it, Jordan. But to be honest, I don't care. I'm saying it because I care about you and I want you to win. If you want to win, right, you got to either step up or step out, right? That's it. Okay, so you either got to do the volume and find a way, or you got to raise some money, bro, and go run some ads. And either way, it's a bit of a risk. So you got to choose it, pick your poison. Okay, and then finally, and kind of aligning with that, raise expectations, not goals. Now, this is a small thing. That's gets a little bit of mindset, right? But right now, every single one of us probably has online banking, like digital banking app, right? If you're in America, maybe it's with Chase. If you're in the UK, maybe it's with Barclays or NatWest or whatever, right? And there will be an amount that your bank account over the last 12 months has never dipped below and stayed below, right? There'll also be an amount that your bank account has never gone above and stayed above, because whenever it does, you get that holiday, you go on that expensive dinner or whatever, right? That gap, guys, is what you think you are worth. Poof. Can I get an amen? Oh my gosh. That gap is what you think you're worth. And I hope, as business owners, that everyone in here is relatively embarrassed by that gap. Ooh, bit of a weird one to say. Bit of a weird one, but I hope so. Right? Now, how do you go ahead and grow, Jordan? Is it by saying, like, oh, well, if I just dream harder and do my affirmations, then, or is it by raising your standards? Right? Elon Musk was able to get a rocket to space in 8 months, bro. What? And how long have some of y'all been prospecting to get a client? Ugh. You guys should be looking at one of my clients, because I'd be grilling you 10 times harder than anything I'm saying right now. It's unbelievable the amount of laziness that I see sometimes. People say, like, I have these big goals, but they're not putting the work in. Right? Raise your expectations, not your goals. Turn up as the version of yourself that will be successful, and you'll be successful. Anyway, next. Yeah, he's worth one trip. Right, Sean, where are you, Sean? Turn your mic on, mate. You want to have an intellectual debate about Elon Musk? Elon Musk started in a college dorm room, brother. All right, he was selling out his basement, right, for parties, or for what was it for, or for like for like a club to pay for his rent whilst at university. Now, am I saying he's the best person in the world? No, we've all seen the information. Hey, I'm not saying I abide by Elon Musk and all of his life choices. However, you cannot tell me that man has not grafted. He's grafted. Yeah, Sean. He's grafted. He's worked his ass off more than any of us probably even believe is feasibly possible. But we'll continue. Cool.
That dude is crazy rich.
Yeah, he is.
He's great. He's got like $850,000. He's got the most money in the world. He's got more money than Jeff Bezos. He's got more money than Warren Buffett. He's the richest person in the whole world.
Right, he ain't met me yet. I'm joking, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's got a couple bucks. He came up off of PayPal and Tesla.
Yeah, man, he owes me a couple dollars as well, bro. So
that's hilarious. Jacob, cool. I think you're really funny.
Well, appreciate that. I wish my lady would say the same thing sometimes, but yeah, we'll continue. Cool. Anyway, we'll do a quick pit stop. All right. So before we launch ads, before we do any more outbound, I want you to cover these 4 things. All right. These are the 4 just very straightforward things. Okay. First off, is my offer only for one specific person? Right. Not everyone, not small businesses, one avatar, one problem, one solution. If you got that, tick, move on to the next step. Is my mechanism unique and simple? Right. Now, for clarity, if you're selling leads, not necessary, but if you're selling services or retainers, I'd say it's pretty helpful. Right. There are 1,000 other people trying to sell marketing services right now. You better have a reason why yours is better. Okay, cool. Next, is the outcome specific and desirable? Is it tangible? Is it measurable? Right. One of the best copywriting strategies I ever got in my life is, can someone see it if you say it? Right. So, for example, a great direct response ad that we ran for a fitness offer is, what was it? Oh no, okay. So this one was a little bit, maybe not ad friendly, but we said to a bunch of men who are, over a certain age, see your thing again. That's a very visual value proposition. Let's be real. That's a very visual value proposition, right? And that absolutely printed clients out of thin air because it's visual. If they see it and it's tangible, it's measurable, that's good, right? And then finally, am I selling the next step only, right? Do not sell the whole entire thing, right? On your booking page, for example, if I was going to review some booking pages, I imagine if it's some people on your booking page, it would be see XYZ to book a call and get started with us. Ooh, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. I don't know you, bro. Right? I will, however, book a call to see how I could learn this proprietary system, blah, blah, blah. And then it's your job to convert them. Right? So I think that's everything that I need to cover. Okay. Yeah, this one's pretty cool as well. So founder focus. So this is something that I came up with, I guess. Founder focus is what I call when you sell what you want to sell rather than what the market wants to buy. Right? It kills so many offers you wouldn't even believe it. Your market wants to buy something and you are selling something else. Option A is to sell what you want. Or I sell content marketing service so people can get more inbound DMs. Your one. Or I help high ticket founders generate book calls and revenue without posting content or running ads. Right? That's selling what the market actually wants. So do yourself a favor, sell what the market wants rather than selling what you want to sell. The market does not care about you, brother or sister. Okay? Clear? When scaling from 30K a month to 75K a month, is it easy selling more money on ads? I struggle. the inconsistent spends, some campaigns being paused and restarted marketing. Let me know. Great question. I will come back to that in a moment. I think I'm almost done with this section. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. We'll hop into some Q&A and get started. Okay, cool. So what we'll do now, by the way, just before we go any further, everyone get some game from that. Everyone get some value they thought was helpful. Drop a thumbs up in the chat. I feel like one of those streams. Can I get some W's in the chat, guys? Yeah, guys. Cool. Francisco, I see your face. That is the most stone cold thumbs up I've ever seen in my life, Francisco. I hope you're being honest with me, my friend. But anyway, cool. We'll get into some Q&As, right? I'll start with the questions we have in here, and then after that, if you guys want to raise your hands, we'll just go in order, kind of what we do normally, what Ryan does normally on these calls. And we've got an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes to answer any questions that you guys deem valuable. So there you go. Cool. Lemuel, when scaling from 20 to 30K per month to 75K per month, is it just as easy as spending more on money on ads? I feel like I struggle to grow past that due to having consistent spend, some campaigns being paused and restarting marketing. Okay, so I'll give a very straightforward answer to that, right? If you're scaling the core funnel via ads, it's as simple as this: spend more, fill it closes the calendar, right? That's what it takes, right? Now, for clarity, when you do fill a closes the calendar for the first time, for the first 6 weeks, they will suck, right? And you will burn through cash like nothing you've ever seen before, right? We brought on 2 closers at the end of January, and our revenue actually decreased for like 2 weeks, right? But then yesterday we had a 12K day because they finally hit the ramp up where it's like, okay, cool. Now they're on form. They get 1 call closes. Everything's good. So when it comes to scaling, I'll come back to your question in a second. Let me also, if you want to put your hand up, I'll come back to you. But just on a higher level, like just to zoom out a little bit, spend more on ads, book more appointments, convert as many people as possible. The main metric you want to measure from a core funnel, in my opinion, is gross close rate, which is number of leads generated versus number of sales made, right? And as long as your cost per lead, schedule, whatever you're optimizing for, DM, follower, whatever funnel you're running, it doesn't matter to me, is less than 3x your value per lead, just spend more, right? If you've got a 3x your cost per result, spend more on ads, right? A lot of people will try and optimize for 10x. I don't think that's very useful. You'll have some days of having that, but it's just going to really, more than anything else, going to put you in constant, like, trying to fix everything. What it sounds like to me, my friend, is that you probably pause some ads and this, that, and the other over and over and over again. And I would say be a Chadvertiser, okay? Send it, delete Facebook ads for you from your computer for 3-4 days and come back in a couple of days and then see, right? You don't want to overmanage Facebook ads. I probably does not answer your question perfectly, but put your hand up and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, well, there you go. No worries. Jacob, you said if budget is less than 1K for acquisition, you should focus your value. You should just focus your value proposition. Should it be the same mindset for generating leads? Okay. Good question, Chris. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Because as a lead seller, it's the same job. Your job is to spend a bit of money on ads, generate some attention, and convert that person into a client. The only difference is that you're not taking the sales call or you're not converting the lead. So I would suggest, and our clients have got pretty decent results since we've launched, although there's obviously room for improvement with certain things we can build up, blah, blah, blah. I would suggest, yeah, absolutely. Follow the same best practices. If you can make that offer better on the front end, absolutely do it. The only problem is that you need to make sure that your clients are still happy to hold up on that offer on the back end. So if you're offering a free consultation, but your clients don't do free consultations, then that doesn't really work, does it? But the better you can make your offer on the front end, absolutely, the lower your cost per lead will be, which obviously is great for everybody, right? Cool. Now, I don't know whether to take the lack of hands up right now as there's no questions or something else, but
there's no hand up feature.
Oh, there's no. Okay. No. Right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, if you guys have a question, put it in the chat for sure.
Yeah,
or if you have an idea, Jacob.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I like when people ask you questions, right? It makes it easy to talk. So just say me, and whoever I see me first, we'll just turn your mic on, and then we'll go for you. So type me in the chat, and then you'll enter the list if you would. So be quick. Pablo first. Who's next?
Are we still waiting, or do I say my question?
Yeah, well, I want to wait for a few more people to come through.
Okay.
Right, Pablo, you got 2 questions to answer. Great. I'm glad I can be of service, guys. Josh Dunn, cool. Josh Dunn, I'm glad you're here, my friend. Great. Come on, man, keep the memes coming through. Anyway, we'll get started. So Pablo, go ahead, hit me.
Yeah. So my question, believe it or not, is more of an accounting one, because right now where I'm struggling with is kind of the organization of the money, basically. Because like I'll get a package, and then since at the end of the day I'm at the point where it's not fully stable or predictable, I'm only really seeing the ad spend and what's leaving. Even if I'm still keeping some profit margins, I don't really know what percentage I'm at. I could be at 40 or I could be at 25, and that data is really important to kind of know. But I don't feel like I've ever really, maybe in retainer it's easier because it's just like you get paid 2K per month, and that's like easier to track. But with pay per lead, I'm having trouble kind of tracking it.
What's the question there, bro? What's the question?
How do you do it? How do you track like for every package that is bought, how much you spend, and how do you calculate your profit margins?
Okay.
And yeah, basically.
Well, I would suggest starting pretty easy, right? Just get yourself a Google sheet, write down the number of leads that the person bought, or the package that they bought, the cost per lead, and then simply every day update the blended cost per lead for their specific campaign. Do you do like replacements for bad quality leads and stuff like that, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, unless like the number's disconnected or something like that. But honestly, I've probably replaced like 3 leads so far out of the 200 that I've sold.
Okay. Well, right. So first and foremost, my COO/CFO Reese is not. I don't know if he's here right now. I don't think he is. But I would definitely run that past Ryan because he's going to have more robust tracking and systems for that. Honestly, I'm going to tell you something that was probably really silly to say, and please take my financial advice with a grain of salt, but spend more money getting clients, bro. If you can turn money into more money getting clients, you will never run out of money until you've not got anybody else to sell to. Bit backwards a little bit maybe, but I will say that because I will imagine not everybody launches like instantly. Like it's not like, client pays today and then they launch tomorrow, right?
What do you mean?
Is there do you have any setup period, or do you build a CRM for them or anything else that you do? Or is it just like they come in and you launch straight away?
Yeah, I mean the campaigns for the most part are already running, so I just plug them into my system and they start receiving the leads.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what then. Don't listen to what I'm saying. That's a conversation for Ryan M or Ryan B. More than for us, we track our blended cost per lead across our campaigns, and we have a KPI that we're looking to sell leads for twice as much as it costs us to generate them. So that's just our metrics and what we're looking to do. But
Did I send you that sheet, Pablo? The one that I was saying, like, basically what Jacob's saying though, like, I mean, let's say you get an order for 10 leads and you're selling them for $20.
Yeah.
If you just record your, day 1 I got 3 leads for $12. Day 2 I got 5 leads for $20. Day 3 I got, whatever. I would just keep it super simple on a sheet for now. Like, we use Lead Prosper to track all this stuff, but for now, just keep it like, you sold the lead for 20. See how, like, on a daily basis, just track what your overall blended lead cost is. You could do it by state if you want to, if you're selling leads at different costs. But I mean, you could use Claude to do this. You could literally tell Claude, like, hey, update my sheet. I got this many leads for this much today. Like, if you want to keep it super simple. Anyways, we can talk more about that later.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
I mean, again, I feel like that, like, in a weird way, a lot of like business at this stage just comes back to mindset. Like, realistically, if I'll be completely honest with you, that's not a question you should be having to ask. Like, you got to be resourceful in this game. Like, you could not. I'm saying this because I care for you and you're a G bro, and every call you've been on, you've asked great questions. But that's a ChatGPT question. You know what I mean? That's a 20-second like ChatGPT. How do I do this? Says do this, do this, do this, and then you thug it out. Start of the day, how much should I spend? End of the day, how much should I spend? And then you put it in a spreadsheet. That's all you need to do, man. it's not more right now. I would imagine probably the volume you're at, you probably don't need to worry about doing more than that. So that's that. That would be my answer there. But yeah, Ryan, you got there. Cool. I'll move on to the next question. Correct. Pablo, by the way, is that a good answer for you? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Cool. No worries. Jesu, tell me
it's Jasuya. You can call me JJ if you want.
Jesu, I'm gonna call you your real name, Jesu. Let's go.
I appreciate that. So for me, it's a little bit different. I'm still a college student. I'm a sophomore. It's my second year.
Nice.
And for me, like I've been creating ugly ads. I've made a couple landers and I've tried all that stuff. But like I fit the bill of like I am a little bit scared to spend more on meta ads to do client acquisition through that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I was just wondering, like, obviously hearing a lot of the things you said, it seems like I would just have to, like, part of my language, not be a bitch about it and just spend more money.
Yeah.
But like, is there any way to kind of like go step by step? I understand it will take me longer if I spend a little bit less, but how can I spend a little bit less and be more detailed? Because I've already fed my page, like, like I've switched country locations, I've built the following on my page, I've created content for it. But how do I now
client acquisition?
I mean like people that I'm going to sell leads to, like how do I run ads like to try and get those people now in a way that it might take me a little bit longer, but it might be cheaper in the long run. Obviously, I have my stipend. I get paid through athletics and everything.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete here at U of I. So
that will serve you well in business, bro. I was an athlete and a boxer. So,
yeah. What sport?
I used to do 200 and long jump.
I'm actually a long jumper. I was ranked top 20 last year, and then I got hurt this year, and so it gave me time to be like, oh shit, like maybe track might not be like a super long-term thing. And I've made my national team and stuff, but it's like now I'm thinking more about money. I'm like, okay, well, how can I do get paid by the school, so it's like I can invest a little bit of money, but it's it's periodic.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the mic off you and tell you what you don't want to hear. Okay. Ads is a great mechanism for getting good quick. Okay. Because when you spend money on ads, you have no excuses but to get good at sales, and to improve your offer, and to improve your objection handling, and to improve your follow-up sequence, and to improve your thank you page VSL, all these things, right? That's the reality. The problem is that, we used to see these things online all the time about like, oh, it takes 3 years for business to be profitable, right? And nowadays with like the online space, like we don't really play by that playbook anymore. But the reason I think that was really valuable for founders back then is because there was skin in the game. Oh my gosh, there's skin in the game. Right, like if I ramped our ad spend started this month $2,000 a day. It did not hit instantly. Did not hit. All right. When that happened, we brought on 2 new closers. One of them was a previous client who loved the offer so much they were like, right, I'm going to sell for you guys, which is great. But they were not good at objection handling or discovery XYZ, right? And sometimes you take those losses in ads, and unfortunately, the reality is that a lot of people want a hack or a system or an XYZ. But I'll tell you the straightforward truth of it: there is none. Right, you're paying for eyeballs, converting that into a booked call, and then it's your job to make money from it. It's that simple, right? So if you spend $3 a day, don't spend $3 a day, but if you spend $10 a day, right, versus if you spend $10,000 a day, you're still reaching the same group of people. Okay, that's very general, and anyone who's a high-level advertiser will know how stupid what I've just said is. But at its most basic, it is the same principle. The only difference is what you're really paying for there, Jesse, is your time. So whereas you could have acquired a client in 7 days and got really good in 7 days, you're waiting 6 months. And for me personally, opportunity cost is more expensive than anything else. I've got a 19-month-old right downstairs right now who's playing my lady, right? I don't particularly care for, oh my gosh, like, what about our margins? Like, okay, that's going to sound very stupid, right? But that's my business partner's job. My job is to stick it on red and then fix the bottlenecks when they come up. Do you get what I'm saying? So, for example, I found out our lead to set ratio on our funnel was too low, so I rejigged the copy on the booking page. Okay, cool. Our show rate was too low, so we implemented a blue text SMS sender. So rather than getting the green text from Go High Level, we got blue IO to get iMessage sent out. Like ads, all it is your ability to evolve your sales skills quicker. The more you spend on it, the quicker that will happen. It's kind of backwards, and everyone wants a secret strategy or hack, but it just doesn't exist, man. Like, it's called ROAS for a reason. If you spend $100 and your ROAS is 3x, you will only make $300. It's just that simple. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So, realistically, like, I'm getting what I pay for, and so if I, okay, that's basically my
And there
question.
are things you can do, and we'll run through some real high level stuff. Maybe, yeah, we got like an hour. So if I run out of time, if we run out of questions, then I'll run through some like 6 strategies and campaigns that you can run for lower budgets. But it never will replace the fact that you get what you pay for. That's the way that ads work. You know, you can't go to the casino and cash in $1 and go like, whoa, where's my billions? It's like, it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And another important metric. Sorry for the ladies in here. It can be a bit cross sometimes, but it is what it is. Another important metric as an advertiser is called the weight of your balls. Right? Sorry, I will. That's the last thing I'll say. That's out of order, but it's true. Okay, it's absolutely true. Right? I personally potentially have. Anyway, do you get the point? Like, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put the money. I'm gonna make it work, right? And that's the difference. Richard, for example, you asking a question the other day about like, oh, what if I spend? Dude, I would double your spend, man. You seem like you got it, bro. Double it, man. Send it. What are you talking about? Make it work. You get 20 calls, none of them close. All right, cool. Then you got 20 days to get one of them to close. All of a sudden, you're ROAS positive in 3 weeks rather than 4 months. You know what I mean? Like, just an iterative process. Just like, and ads is the best way to spend enough that makes you uncomfortable, because in life, people only ever do stuff that they either want or to get out of a place of discomfort, right? So unless you're running ads to a certain level that makes you uncomfortable, you're just not going to do the requisite things to make it work. That's the reality. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. We can come back to the list now. Does that answer your question?
Guys, sorry to interrupt, Jacob there. I didn't realize how much value you're going to bring today, and spending 2 hours here. I do have to hop for a call, so I'm going to jump off. I really appreciate it, man. I actually had a question, but we'll chat later. Yeah, I appreciate you sticking around with these guys. Thanks everyone for coming out today. I'm stoked on this. I'm hoping this will just keep recording after I leave. So
yeah, I think so. And if
maybe
not,
I'll stop the stop the recording.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it, and then we'll restart it, and we'll share the whole recording. So
spend enough that your ROAS is
decent. Yeah. Well, I got the general idea. It's just about doing it now. So,
yeah. But it's as simple as this. Like, this makes it really easy, straightforward for you, right? If you spend $33 a day, you'll spend about $1,000 a month. If you can get a 3x ROAS, that means you'll acquire at least one multiple $1,000 package a month. That's really good. That's a good place to start, man. It's a really good place to start. Like, my first ads, I want to clarify, when I first started running ads, I think I spent $650 when I first started. Managed to close a $2,500 client because, you know, I was a closer before that in XYZ, and was able to double make stuff work. But like, it's all just about stack and spend and stack and spend. The only 2 things that matter is your availability. Do you have enough availability and enough ad spend? And as long as you got those 2 things, you're good. Guys, keep putting the me's in the chat so I don't lose you, because your hands keep going away when I don't answer them quick enough. But Josh Dunn, will come to you next, man. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent, man. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, appreciate your time today. So my question kind of answered by the last one, kind of more about spin, where to like kind of hit the ROAS, whether to worry about it or not. So I guess I kind of pivoted a little bit, and most of my ads have been for low to mid ticket SaaS, to the $200 to $400 range.
Cool.
And lifetime value, just with the churn and everything, is about, we'll say 3 months. So at the top end, $1,200 lifetime value. They churn for various reasons.
Yeah.
I'm still new with all this, but do you have any other way to think about ad spend and metrics and KPIs for that type of model?
Absolutely. So, yeah, lifetime value to CAC ratio, right? So because you've got SaaS, lifetime gross profit doesn't really, it's not that it doesn't matter, but your costs are negligible, right? It's a bit of server costs and maybe some software on the back end, for example, right? So I would do lifetime value to CAC, right? So what you want. So the best LTV to CAC in the world is a company we all know very well named Starbucks. Starbucks' LTV to CAC is 14,000, which is just absolutely nuts. Every dollar they spend on acquiring a client, they get $14,000 in lifetime value back. A good LTV to CAC, Josh, which is acceptable and scalable, is 10 to 1.
Okay.
Right. So if you can spend $120 to acquire a client, you're in a pretty good place. And for what you're selling, I think that should be pretty reasonable. Should be looking at calls for anywhere from $20 to $30, 50% show rate, 50% close rate. It's such an easy sell, bro. People should be buying in droves. So I'd say $120 cost per acquisition is where you want to be working towards.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm trying, instead of doing setup phase, I'm trying to do like front end, like buy 3 months to start, like a pay in full for the first 3 months kind of situation. That's helping, that initial cost. Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you another thing as well, just a quick side note. Your job right now, more than anything else, below 5K ad spend, I would say a month, is just to get a return. So if you spend $1 and get $1.20 out and the client, great, man.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
I'll overthink it, but yeah, there you go. Cool. Lemuel, Skool.
Hey, how's it going, brother? So quick question here. So you kind of answered some of it. I think that I'm having issues scaling because so I'll spend my goal is to spend about 6,500 per month, and spending that budget per month should get me close to that $75,000. The problem is I end up spending way before.
Did you say 6,500 to get you $75,000?
Yes, because I do wholesaling, and a lot of the properties I can actually buy myself, clean them up, and resell them, so I get a little bit more margin for it. That's the reason why.
Okay.
But
So can I initially like fix a belief there that's really important for you to have?
yeah, of course.
If you could consistently 11x your ad spend, nobody in this call would be in lead gen. They'd all be doing wholesaling. I'll tell you myself, I would never run a client acquisition ad ever again if I could spend 6,500 and make 75K. The reason that's important is because going back to what Josh said, your LTV to CAC is really good, is what you're aiming for, but it's probably setting your barrier to entry to actually scaling too high. Because, for example, Emil, let me just ask you a straightforward question, right? If you could spend 6,500 and make 50K back, would you spend it?
Yeah.
If you could spend 6,500 and make 35K back, would you spend it?
Yeah, I would.
Right. If you could spend 6,500 and make 26K back, would you spend it?
I probably would, yeah.
Right. Then scale it because you can. What you're focusing on and what you're seeing is the inconsistencies in advertising algorithms telling you not to scale. What will happen is, and this is something really cool for when you have low budgets, is Meta does want to prioritize you a little tiny bit, right? There's something called the initial impression bias, which is when you first run ads, it wants to show you ads to the people who are most likely to convert, whether it's a core funnel, schedule, lead, whatever, right? So when you first running ads and you get that crazy high ROAS on the first thing, that can inflate your acceptable cost per result or inflate what you think your ROAS is to a point where it's not actually feasible. Whereas me, if I spend 6,500 and make 75K back, I'm spending that whole 75K straight up, like no questions asked. Why? Because I know if I just 2x it, I've turned 6,500 into 150, which is very. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think that you kind of answered it a little bit earlier. I think that I start to almost analyze too much the cost per lead, the click through rate, and all these different things. And if it doesn't add up to a specific amount, I end up trying to mess with it, and then I end up like almost ruining the campaign performance, and that delays me.
Yeah, one of the worst things that you can do is called over advertising. Right. I like to call the set it and let it rip. I like to do set it and let it rip. Like once I've launched an ad, I literally won't touch. I won't look at Ads Manager for like 3 days minimum. And I'm talking about like I'll spend $600 a day on an ad and just be like, it's good. Whatever happens, happens. Right. Now, am I suggesting that you do that for every single campaign? No. But once you have any semblance of proven X, whether it's value proposition, ad, creatives type, placement, audience, funnel, whatever, sales script, like just set it and let it rip, man. Sounds like you've been very profitable in ads in the past, and then you've over-engineered yourself into a place where you're not very profitable now. My one suggestion would be for you is to just spend it and just see what happens now. Just don't overthink it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay, got some more. Would you recommend targeting different advertising ads until I find that sub niche in the market and run a general campaign? Great question, Pablo. Baller question. What you can do, really good idea, is you can run a traffic gen ad. If you run a traffic ad targeting landing page views, you can literally set up a blank landing page which has nothing on it, just to test your market. Spend $3 on 12 different angles / audience segments, let's say $36, you will get a lot of traffic to landing page, and whichever one of them has the lowest cost per click and a reasonable CPM, scale that one. That's another way to do market research outside of the Reddit thing.
So in that case, like by blank landing page, you mean literally just the headline and like the book a call, or literally just
No, I
nothing?
mean,
Just,
dude,
just to see.
I've done this exact thing, sending people to an error 404.
Just
Now,
to see the data.
just to see the data, man. Just to see the data.
Okay.
Like, I probably treat ads very differently to a lot of, like, where a lot of guys treat. I treat it more like an instrument than I do like a scaling mechanism. Blah. It's just another tool. It's just another tool, right? So one of the ways you can use ads is you can create an ad, an angle, etc., target a certain demographic, and when the traffic objective to a landing page, and just see which one gets the cheapest clicks. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best audience, but I would definitely take the top 3 and see what you can do with that. You know.
Right. Because I wanted to run like a my specific case by you, because I know that I'm overthinking the hell out of it, and your clarity is very, very refreshing in my case. But since I'm in the Spanish market, I have the advantage that everybody in the US, in the Spanish market in the US, everybody uses WhatsApp, right? So I could get a lead for literally $1, right? The problem with that is that they're cheap leads. So 1 week I'll get a lot of calls, 1 week I won't, but the education just isn't there. Would you recommend that doesn't matter, I'm still getting the cost of acquiring interest is cheap enough that I could not forget scale, but just like work with that and also book a call? Or how would you go about testing
So
the
for client acquisition, you're currently running lead gen campaigns that lead people to WhatsApp. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and also I'm gonna start doing book a call as well to
Before
kind of.
we even talk about that, let's talk about that first and foremost, the WhatsApp campaigns. What is
Okay.
your cost per call?
My what?
Your cost per call from that lead gen campaign?
I wouldn't know how to tell you a specific number, but if I spend $20 a day, get 20 leads, I could probably get 2 calls out of that.
So
So
$10 cost per call. Great. What's your show rate on those calls?
everything still feels super manual, so I have to be like calling them. I would say out of 10 people, honestly, like 6 or 7 show up. It's not too
Okay, so
bad.
you got 70% show rate. Gosh, I don't have a calculator next to me. So $20 cost per call, 60, let's say 60% show rate. That's gonna make your cost per. Oh, can anybody do that math for me real quick? What's 20 divided by 0.6?
20 divided by 0.6,
Yeah.
33.3.
So 33.3 cost per show. Right, Pablo, do you want to know the hard truth? That is unbelievably attractive as a metric.
Okay.
Like, unbelievable. If I had anything close to that, my friend, I would have built out a full Spanish speaking WhatsApp team. I would have flown to you in Colombia. I would have flown to Colombia, picked some. Hey, dude, listen, man, don't work for the cartels, bro. Listen, get on WhatsApp, all right? I'm gonna sort you out, right? And I would be having someone to hammer those people on WhatsApp 24/7, booking those calls. And what's your close rate on those calls? Do you know?
That's the problem, because they come in super uneducated, meaning that since I'm in insurance, everybody's a buyer, right? But I'm getting a lot of, this sounds great, but let's start 2 weeks from now.
Right.
And then,
okay, pause.
yeah.
Here's what's actually happening. People think
Uh-huh.
sales systems will replace being a good salesperson. I'm going to say this with all due respect and love. It sounds like you're sucking a little bit at objection handling. That's all
Okay.
that. What I would do, so we can do a quick objection handle now. We'll do a little role play, right? You guys want to see a little masterclass? Okay, so Pablo, you like everything? How's everything sound to you?
Everything sounds great.
Okay, amazing. So To get started, our minimum order is 50 leads and our cost per lead is 50. So it's 2,500 to get started. How do you want to get started? Do you want to do credit, or would you like to send you a bank link over?
I have to raise the money first because everything sounds great, but I just don't have it right now.
Okay, amazing. And just so I understand, just so I've got a full picture of everything, when you say you don't have the money, is it that you don't have access to it, or you don't know that it's worth it to get started today?
I just don't have the money.
Right. Well, that's a different problem. If they don't have the money, then come on, man, play a qualified bet at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm making it as like hyper realistic as I can.
cool.
It's always like it sounds great. And first of all, like my minimum order is like it used to be higher, and then I found that if I just lowered it, I could basically manufacture my own volume. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I'll give you a piece of advice there. What you need to do is first off a bit of pixel conditioning, right? So in your funnel or whatever you're doing to create these leads, have some conditional logic. One for qualified prospects where you send that data back to Facebook. One for unqualified prospects where you don't, right? And then, Pablo, are you asking people how much money they have before they book a call?
No, I should.
Yeah,
But when I
probably.
do that, then that 33 will shoot up.
Absolutely, that's part of
Yeah.
the game. Like what I thought was that you had a $33 cost per qualified show. If that's the case, I would hire you right. I'm not even joking. I would hire you straight away, like in this exact moment. What you told me is you've got a $33 cost for Blair. Doesn't mean much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to go back into take a look at my perspective podcast, bro. Set up a funnel just like that one with the same qualifying questions, same systems, etc., etc. In fact, you know what? We don't have any ads running for it right now, so oh my gosh, can't believe I'm saying this, but use my funnel right now, guys. Whatever, funnel hack it, it's fine. I don't care. We're not using that pixel anyway, so ruin my pixel, I guess that's fine. But yeah,
Jacob, what I was doing, but I just wanted you to understand like how I was doing it. I was taking, and please, if this is like dumb, let me know. I was doing the WhatsApp campaign, right? And then when someone came in, I would have like a WhatsApp automation where it just sends them like basically my offer plus my like lander, but I wasn't running the ads to the lander, and then from there they would book. So that gives me the option to also call them at any moment.
I tell you, I'm glad you mentioned that. I tell you where the problem is. You're doing it back to front because what you're allowing Meta to do is to optimize for the lead event, which you don't have any qualification for. I imagine on your funnel you have a little bit of qualification, right? Right. So you need to do it the other way around. So send people to the funnel first to qualify them, and then allow them to book a call. Because again, you can play into the exclusivity, right? If you put in an ad only for Spanish-speaking insurance agents with over X amount to invest in their growth. Right. I mean, maybe not. Don't put exactly that in the ad, but if you'd put that on the funnel or a landing page or a booking page or whatever, right, something like that, you would have less result volume, 100%, but you're gonna have better leads. So the question would be: are you willing to trade a 5x cost per show for every single person being qualified and potential buyer?
Yeah. So you're saying ditch the WhatsApp for now, even though I'm getting really good results, since I'm sending them to the landing page, just not first.
You're not getting good results, Pablo.
Okay.
You're spending $33 per head on nothing because these people are unqualified. If I have a $2 cost per schedule for Indonesian women with 4 to 6 kids, right? But I'm selling a $55 million investment opportunity, right? There's probably going to be a couple in there who qualify and, sick. Let's have a conversation. But the majority of my spend is going to be completely wasted. And that's what you're doing right now. So I would, rather than looking at is it's working, just look at it from the top end metrics. Like, how much is my cost per qualified call? And if that's above $200, I'd turn it off, bro. Cool. Well, we'll move on. If you have some time, we'll swing back around to you, my friend. Cool.
Thanks.
No problem. Lucas Traversal.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. I had a question about kind of closing sales calls. Have you had any experience offering like, a trial or a guarantee or some of these other things to like get people across the finish lines? Yeah. That's what I thought too, but a lot of people ask about them.
Yeah, cool. And I'm joking, because they are a very useful tool for when it's necessary. Okay, if you're going to offer a guarantee, it needs to be a conditional one, which is conditional on certain things that your client has to do. So, for example, they need to dial the leads a certain number of times before they can get their money back, and they need to be able to prove that with their call logs or their phone history or something like that. For example, that's the only place I would suggest using a guarantee. And outside of that, just get good at sales, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Objection handle, like when people ask the guarantee thing, my number one track is like, okay, I completely understand. You feel like this is a big risk for you, is that right? Okay, cool. So just outside of the risk, do you feel like this could work? Okay, cool. What makes you say that? Get them to tie down on why it could work. Okay, great. Can I offer you a perspective? They say, yeah. But have you heard the saying, nothing in life is guaranteed? Yeah, well, here's the thing. I could list a number of guarantees out for you, X, Y, Z, but my job more than anything else is to get you results. And I promise you, I'm going to get you results. So although I can't offer you a hardcore guarantee, I'll offer you a man-to-man guarantee. If we get started, I'll make sure that you are better off from doing business with me. Ooh, that ain't no sales script. That's real human being stuff right there, right? People are scared to get real human, man. People are scared to get real personal on sales calls. Like, you just level with people, say like, look, I can't offer you a guarantee. The reason why, because I don't want to set you up for failure, but I promise I'll do everything in my power to get you results. We call that a diminish. What's it called? A mitigating truth or something like that, where you say two bads and a good. But anyway, get good at sales, basically. Use a decision.
Do you have any favorite resources to practice specifically objection handling?
Yeah, got so Ryan put out my decision tree a couple of days ago in the Skool chat. It's got like a full if you guys ain't using it, I don't know what you're doing. It's got like a full breakdown of almost every partner, timing, capital, guarantee, scarcity, all that stuff. Like, yeah, every objection in there.
Okay,
and it will give you a basic handling and everything. It's not going to cover every single thing in the world, but the main thing with objection handling is just to tie down the real objection, which really ties down to one of two things. They're scared or they don't have the money, and then offer a solution for it. You do that enough times, people will join you. That's it.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
No worries. Francisco, I see you couldn't raise your hand, so we'll go to you, bro.
Hey, what's up, Jacob? Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, my friend.
Yes, bro. I have a question about hopping on a new niche. So I was wondering if it was you in that case, how would you approach that? And do you have any like specific steps that you would follow?
To launch a new offer, a new niche.
Yes, sir.
Are we talking outbound or ads?
I'm open to do ads. I just don't have a bunch of cash to burn right now, but I'm still open to it.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna answer both sides of it. I'll answer the outbound first. All right. So for outbound, I would suggest doing more volume than you're feasibly comfortable with, to the point where you will get straightforward market feedback, what people actually want, right? So I would suggest creating 3 or 4 scripts or slightly different value propositions, and then doing like an ABCD test, if you would, and do 1,000 pieces of outbound in whatever time frame, right? And then just see which one that people respond best to. And then from there, and this is the other thing that's really important, what you sell in your call booking marketing doesn't have to be the same as what you sell on the call. So I'd then just ask people at the start of the call, like, hey man, just so I have full clarity, what was it that had you interested in booking this call? And then we'll say X. And then once you've got that input once, you can then double down that angle, Like, marketing is hard, because I remember like when I had I didn't have any budget for a certain period, but like, no budget, less than you got, bro. Way less, right? And that is the hardest time, because you need to acquire insights and also clients and also capital at the same time. Like, don't get it twisted. That is a difficult boat to row in a way. But the way to do it is to think kind of like, incrementally. So first off, can you acquire insights into what your market wants, right? Next off, can you find out which part of your market is willing to pay you the most for it? Once you got those 2 pieces of the puzzle, honestly, bro, whip it on ads. Once you got that. And then the other thing as well is what I like to call the blood in the water analogy, right? There's something the clothes that we brought on start of this month, he didn't make a sale for 2 weeks. Then they made one Friday, and then like since Friday, it's just been just ripping sales out of nowhere. I'm like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, slow down, right? It's the blood in the water. Once you tasted blood once, bro, you're like a shark. You won't forget what that feeling feels like, and you'll know what it looks like, bro. And you just keep going after it and after it and after it. You'll know the pain points to touch. You know the limiting beliefs to address. You know the FAQs that come up, the objections to handle. Once you do it once, it'll just get easier and easier and easier. So the hardest thing for me to say is probably a volume game, but the easiest thing for me to say is that once you've won that volume game, bro, you will be an unrecognizable marketer and salesperson. Unrecognizable.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, man. I'm actually pivoting into the pay-per lead model. So, from my understanding, is basically just leads, right? You want good leads, high quality leads.
Yeah.
And like
generate leads and you need them. Like, hey, I'm your guy, basically.
Yeah, basically. So the pitch is not that hard, right? So I don't know if I should like have an offer stack or anything like that, or
depends on the sophistication of your market. A good guy to read up on this is Daniel Fazio when he talks about market sophistication. Because if you're in a market where not many people sell a similar value proposition, dude, you could you could take a picture of your armpit hair and then just stick some ad copy on it and people would buy. If you're in a market where people are incredibly sophisticated, they've seen every value proposition and every AI and blah, 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 then you need to start to dive into unique value propositions and X, Y, Z, offer stacks, all that stuff. But you won't know until you go out there and try, bro. That's just the unfortunate reality.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the amount of capital you have, like how much money we talk about for these ads if you were to spend?
Maybe starting off with like 1,500.
Bro, that's what the hell? I thought we were talking way less than that. Stick it on red. send it, bro. Okay, no, don't listen to me. Absolutely, okay. I'm an absolute crazy marketer, as you guys can probably tell at this point. But dude, 1,500, you can get a raw ass there, bro. You spend $500 testing, right? You spend $500 across 5 different angles. You got one winning angle. Then you've got $1,000 on one winning angle, and it's your job to make some money. Like, hey man, Francisco, you're a man's man, bro. I trust you to do it, bro. All right, go put it on red. Do it.
Yeah, but we got both sides, right? Because I need to still like validate the market as far as like generating leads for my clients, but then you got the client acquisition side of it. So how would you split that, or would you follow a specific order?
Every day of the week?
What's that?
Client acquisition first every day of the week.
Gotcha.
That what screenshot that I showed didn't come from me going like, let me get one client and then let me try it out. I just know that I am capable enough as a marketer to fulfill on what people are paying me for. And I want to clarify something. I have been in groups and organizations and coaching with guys who don't know 10% of what you guys know. You guys are the top 90% of marketers in the world, believe it or not. Right? So client acquisition first and only. And if anything, bro, here's a real smart thing you can do. You can buy yourself a little bit of time as well. You just say like, okay, cool. Well, we're updating systems a little bit. We're going to launch you in 14 days. Then you've got that time to find out how to generate leads. They always the saying that successful entrepreneurs say over and over and over again is sell it first, work it out later. And I can tell you I attest to that absolutely.
Yeah, figure it out later. Yeah.
It's a bit backwards. That's what it is. And if you got to refund someone and you got to eat that cost, bro, that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, sweet. Awesome,
Cool.
man. Thank you, bro.
No worries. Cool. Let's keep going. Time is a hidden variable in lead gen. I used to do lead gen for realtors and they would do quite right after. Yeah, absolutely, Richard. Yeah. The problem is with any sort of lead gen for like high ticket services, the long sales cycles, they don't see the ROI quick, which is something that we faced as well, because in our space, like the sales cycles are at least 90 days. So we've had to like build out systems to increase the LTV and increase all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, again, like if we look, something I spoke to Pablo about earlier, where it's like he spends a bunch of money on small clients to get one big client. Like, I'm happy to take that trade-off, man. There will be one realtor in 50 who will just stick with you forever as long as the leads are decent and you're a nice enough guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll jump in if that's all right. Maybe just a real quick rundown on my situation. So I'm a licensed mortgage broker in Canada in 3 provinces. I specialize reverse mortgages. I'm going to trade, I've been SEO digital marketer for like 15 years, making the shift to pay per lead. If you were like, it's really easy for me, and I don't know if it's like, I don't know, this is a dumb way to do it, but like if I call, like pick up the phone and start calling these people, because it's really like just mortgage brokers. There's no gatekeeper, right?
Yeah.
You're not, I call and talk to a dentist, right? You're never going to get through, right?
Yeah.
They put their numbers out there. It's pretty easy. What kind of questions, like in that sort of like discovery, like, because I was thinking like, man, I can just like, call 20, 30 brokers. And if I have the right questions, even if they don't, like, I guess it's easy for me because I can be like, hey, I'm a mortgage broker just like you. I'm just up in Canada. And they're like, oh, hey, like instantly, like guard down, like what's going on, business, easy peasy, right? Makes the call easy. What kind of questions would you ask to try to get like, build your avatar so that like, because I figure that if I know what their problems really are, then it's easy to make the ad. Like I don't want to have to call forever, right? Like it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. What I've Richard. Okay, I'm going to tell you the advice you probably expected to hear, but didn't want to hear. I think you've got enough information already, man.
Yeah.
If you've been in the market, like realistically, what's everyone's number one problem? You can tell me right now. 3, 2, 1, go. What is everyone's number one problem?
In their niche?
Yeah, for more. Are you selling to mortgage brokers as well?
Yeah. Like, so in my niche, like doing it myself, the problem with the leads is no urgency whatsoever.
There you go.
So you got people who own homes, they're thinking about getting a reverse mortgage. They take forever. They want to, they want to think about it, and then they'll get back to you. So if I sell those leads, I know the problem immediately is none of them are going to convert right out of the gates. Like it's going to be like shit. Like,
but then that comes into another thing, which is not really the topic of today's call, but it's setting expectations with clients, right? So I would say to that client, like, hey, I want to clarify something here. Like these leads are qualified. They're in your ICP. They do want to do this, but you're going to have to convince someone why they should do it now. Okay. Talk to them about the market, talk about the rates, talk about what's going to happen when the market drops, etc., etc. But it's your job to convince them and convert them. It's my job to generate them. That's the reality, and that's okay to say.
Yeah, like I look at, like I hear people complaining about FEX and whatnot. And I look at that industry and I'm like, man, you got a bunch of you got like stone cold killer salespeople working leads that convert in like 1 or 2 calls, basically. Like I'm like, oh, like every niche has different problems. I think the FEX one is like, you're up against like you're swimming in shark infested waters with like the best of the best. I think ultimately, like, I mean, the more money there is in a niche, the better the caliber of marketers it pulls in, right? Like, it's like
that's the thing. It's like that's the game that we all play anyway, right? So like, if someone was to hop on now and say like, or as Pablo said, like, I need to think about it X, Y, Z. I'm just gonna say, well, you need to get good at sales. And the hard thing about being a marketer is, in my experience over all these years I've been doing this, is that you are not accountable for everything. That's the hardest thing over everything else. Because if I could spend your ad spend and run your campaigns and book your calls and do your pre-call confirmation and close your deals and do your onboarding and deliver your product, or dude, I might as well buy your business.
Yeah.
We are, for clarity, the only niche or the only subsection of business in the world where we, for some reason, become accountable for everybody's success. It's the only business mechanism that this happens in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I did a lot of lead gen for realtors years ago, and like, 30,000-40,000 leads went through the site, and tons of brokers. And I was a realtor at the time, so I would just get paid a referral fee and just like kind of it was a cool setup. But yeah, you just like, you can see the exact same leads going through. You don't control it. Like I had one guy who was a total star, converted like at 5%, and then everybody else was like 1 or 2% or nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not the leads.
Just so I can make sure I answer the question properly, what's the main question or takeaway that you'd like me to clarify, or if you have anything there?
I think I'm guilty of being a bit of a pussy. I don't like. I know what I need to do. Like I'm like, ah, fuck. Like when you were like talking about, it, I was like, oh, fuck, that's
Yeah.
fucking bitch. I don't want to do it for whatever reason. I'm like, I can throw the money at.
Richard, listen. Let's diagnose it better than that. I don't think you are one of those. I think you are too smart for your own good, right? And many of us in this room fall into this category, where we fall into either analysis paralysis, or we compare ourselves to other people, or we overthink and underdo. Like there's so many different reasons. Or it sounds like you had a great business model and you pivoted and pivoted and pivoted. Now, regardless of what situation led us up to here, let's all make a joint agreement. Everybody here say aye, right? Cool. Let's stop being silly and make some money, right? Whatever that looks like. You got to do some outbound, do some outbound. You got to do some list reactivation because you got a list, do it. You got to do some ads, run some ads. You got to work with some referrals, partnerships. I don't care, man. Whatever it looks like, stop giving yourself the out, because as soon as you get rid of that out, and this is the raising the bar thing. If my business generated this month what we generated 6 months ago, I'd probably have a panic attack. Not even probably, like my payroll I wouldn't even be able to catch up, bro. Like oh my god.
Okay. Last question. If like when I used to sell more agency type services with a setup fee and stuff like that, it would be easy to calculate. Like I can run ads, and as long as I get a client for whatever, I've got the setup fee that's going to cover it. No problem. But with this, it's a bit like, I think in Pebbles, like how the money works here. I can see it being a bit different.
Yeah.
If I sell, like, let's say if I push, like, say a minimum $1,000 and I expect to make 500 on that.
Yeah.
What's the most that, like, so I start running ads and I'm like, it's day 2 and I'm spending like, I've spent $200 and I haven't gotten a client. Like, am I already like in the weeds, or like,
yeah, well, okay. So I'll give you a good rule of thumb. So you want to spend at least 3x your acceptable cost per acquisition before you say campaigns are done, which can be a bit more money than maybe you're comfortable with, and I imagine it might be the case. And if that is, then hey, I'm sorry, that's the reality. But you want to spend 3x your acceptable cost per acquisition. So if you could spend 300 to acquire a client and still be profitable, right? Then spend 900. Oh my gosh! Wow, there we go. 900 before you turn that campaign off. But even then, like I would suggest, because you're going to drop your cost per result significantly by just having less friction, just like send them to a landing page with a calendar application on it and a short VSL that explains what you do in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going to have lots of people that schedule. And yes, your sales cycles might be longer because you have less, friction or less XYZ, and that's fine. But like, it's a trade you got to be willing to make. The reality is when you're growing, you have to make the trade somewhere. You either trade your time, your money, or your mental health, and that's just the reality of it. Like, and you got to work out what trade you're willing to make.
Yeah, but basically, like if on my first lead order I expect to make 500, is it okay for me to spend 500 to acquire that client?
Yeah, because then you've got a client who could come back and do this again. You've got insights, you've got data, you've got a potential future case study. Like my first client, my first client paid me. This is after years of generating results. Actually, my first client paid me.
No. Right.
$0.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you can cover your cost, bro, you're in a great place. Absolutely great.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, break some egg, just get a bunch of clients through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then raise your pricing, find out what the market can tolerate, get better at sales so you can close higher AOV, decrease your cost per call. Like, yeah, you're good, man. You just need to go ahead and get some skin in the game, Richard. Yeah. In fact, next time we speak, right, we'll review your campaigns. All right, there you go.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. Okay, what's the brand name or podcast that you mentioned? A resource search perspective podcast. Jacob $10 million client results, something like that. That'll be good. Richard, you've answered. Pablo, would you send them to a client acquisition, then to book a call, or directly to the book a call? I think we answered that, Pablo. I would just send. Honestly, guys, if you don't know what to do to start running ads, just send them straight to a scheduler page with a value proposition at the top. Just start with that. Pablo, honestly, my biggest thing is that my leads aren't that good, but I'm in a market that I can't charge more than 25 per lead, and lead volume is needed. I'm also considering switching or adding a different niche where I can get better leads. All right, fair, valid. I would probably do the same thing you're doing with the WhatsApp system in a different market, bro. Because if you can replicate anything close to that, you're gonna be ripping it. I am good. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So that's everybody's questions that has had their hands up so far. Let me just see if anybody else got their hands up elsewhere. Naomi, Michelle, Karu, Chris, Jose, Kevin, Marley, Jason, Jaiman, Enzo, Jarvis, Diego, Sebastian, Drew, Richard. Anybody else got questions?
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, hit me.
You mentioned the Perspective podcast. So do you use Perspective funnels? Is that
I do indeed, yes.
You have no issues with load time. There's a couple times I've mentioned in the script, and it seems like that's sort of the gripe with it, is the load times. I haven't really picked, the quiz builder, the funnel builder yet.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really use it for lead gen right now. We basically just use lead forms for lead gen, but yeah, like for client acquisition, it's pretty sick. I'll pull up something for you folks so you can actually have a look at something. Right, I'm not going to show my funnel because I know you guys will funnel hack me and ruin my pixel, so don't do that, by the way. So we'll find out who did it for clarity. But anyway, let's find a random one. Okay, this was I don't know how this one performs, so I'm showing this. Not bad. 34% first page click through rate. Oh, that's not bad, is it? So this is the funnel this is a similar setup to the funnel that we run. Step 1, XYZ person looking for ABC outcome. Are you interested in XYZ value proposition in time frame? If no, stop and leave this page. Yes, I'm interested in consistent high paying jobs. No, I'm not interested in doing that. Cool. What's your monthly revenue goal that relevant leads could help you achieve? So what's the goal? I didn't write this copy clearly because I would not have let that run, but it's what it is. Imagine it's 30 days from now and you had it done for you, blah, blah, blah. How much would you invest? And then what I would do here is if you've got low quality leads, I would redirect these people to an unqualified results page that's not pixeled so that you're not generating more of these guys, and then just send them to your calendar page. And then the smart little thing you can do as well, little strategy, funnel strat, I guess, is you can use what we call an extended calendar. So this extended calendar has more availability over the month. As you can see here, for whatever reason, this person doesn't have availability on Fridays, which is a bit stupid, but hey ho, is what it is. But this will also drop your cost per schedule, but these people will show a lower rate. So just a little small thing. There you go. Cool. I don't know what I was speaking in response to there, but there's a funnel template for you guys, I guess. Enzo, curious on what our tech stack looks like. Okay, so we use Cortana for ad tracking and attribution, Perspective for funnels, Nano Banana for creating creatives most of the time, Rapid Ads for launching ads quickly, and then Go High Level for our CRM, basically. If time allows, would love some more detail on the low budget campaigns you mentioned earlier. All right, you guys want to see some magic? Okay, cool. Let me show you some magic.
Hey, Jake, real fast also. Sorry to butt in.
No, go ahead, please.
The Weld Reach, is that your company or not your company?
No, this is for our B2B offer, one of our previous clients.
Okay, B2B. Okay, I was going to ask if that was B2C welding jobs or B2B welding jobs.
Yeah, so that's the thing. See, here's the thing. Great question, because I should have clarified that, right? Because it's a very different value proposition. So I would, if I was going to go through and do some performance marketing, I would make that change very clear. So great question.
Cool, thanks.
Cool. You want to see?
Hey, Jacob, just real quick. I know you said you answered the question already, but I was a little unclear. You said to just do the booking page with no questions and no disqualifications on the booking, or like what I don't remember what you said fully in my case.
Well, I would suggest for you, Pablo, because you already know that your market has a propensity to be low quality leads. You do a 1-page booking page. So, are you interested in value proposition? If so, book a call here to learn how we can XYZ. Then scheduler, and then in your scheduler, ask some qualifying questions. So, what's your monthly revenue? How many leads are you expecting to generate? Blah, blah, blah. What's your close? Whatever it looks like. That will keep your cost per result very low, but it will also allow you to highlight and identify the low quality leads that you want to cancel.
VSL recommended, or don't even worry about that right now?
No, it's not necessary in 2026. What you do need, however, I'll show you this. This is very cool. And this is what we're going to be. So this is I guess a little teaser for next week, potentially. I'll talk to Ryan. If you guys want me in weekly, tell Ryan. don't tell me. I'll give you a quick tease of what we're going to be covering next week, which is mastering your sales process. So this is what we call a breakout page. And this is honestly beautiful.
What days are you doing the calls?
Every Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday, okay.
Yeah. So once someone has opted in or booked a call, they have officially moved from scanner mode into like content consumption mode, where they then want to justify the sales decision they've made. Have you guys ever bought something like a pair of sneakers or something, and just like, I know I didn't need that, but I needed it because it will go with this outfit and I'm going to this event. You start justifying the purchase to yourself. You ever done that? Right?
Done it with courses.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what we call going from scanner mode to consumption mode. So once someone has made a buying decision, which in our case, in an ideal world, is scheduling a call, they then want to justify that decision, right? So what do we do? Do we leave them in the void of zero due diligence and help? Do we send them into the black space of every other marketing business that just tells them, well, we're really good, you'll see on the sales call, you better show up? Or do we aid them to do their due diligence? Do we aid them to build their intent? Do we provide them with facts and information that allows them to become more educated and higher intent buyers before they show up? If you're a smart marketer, who's not a stupid marketer, I guess, you're going to do the latter, obviously. So this is what we call a breakout page. This breakout page has a number of VSLs on them. So this one is a 3-minute VSL, which covers what to do on this page, basically setting the consumption of the rest of these pages. This one runs through how the system works. Does it work in any niche? What's the best strategy? How long does it take to see results? And then what to do next. Now, we have breakout pages that have literally 16 pre-call VSLs that are anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds long. And their job is only to answer FAQs and pre-frame people on the common objections that need to be handled for someone to be a buyer, not just a lead. There you go. There's some game for you. Helpful?
How do you send this to Jacob? How do you send this to the buyers? Do you send them like through email or?
Great question. So we use it in 3 different places. So first off, the redirect after they've scheduled, right? So as soon as they've scheduled a call, they're redirected to this page. Second off, manually, when we're doing our call confirmation, we'll send over the page. We will send over an unpixeled version of it because we don't want to count them twice, right? Obviously, we don't want to mess up our pixel or anything, but we'll send an unpixeled version of it. And same again, we'll do the same thing in our pre-call email sequences, because in the 72 hours before someone shows up, the one metric you are measuring is consumption. Consumption. The more they consume of you, your face, your value proposition, who you help, your unique mechanism, the higher probability they convert. It's that straightforward. Go ahead, Richard.
Along that same sort of, like, I just picked up a gimbal, and like, so I want to try to do like the UGC kind of video ad for my own niche in Canada. Really, just because it's my own, like, just what you're saying there is my face. And I was like, man, I bet you like if I
Pablo, can you mute?
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize.
Them to a landing page that has another one of my video, like me on there again, like being like, hey, yeah, if you fill out this form, like you'll get your thing. And then the thank you page, another video, and you just like keep going along. But I also thought, like, I used to have luck with BombBomb way back in the day. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but like it's a video text kind of software.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, man, like I could just get like, because I'm only in 3 different provinces. I could get 3 different numbers, and I could just literally be like, "Hey, I see you signed up," and send them a video text. Like, what do you think about that? Like,
Oh,
just,
you want? Hey, we're really getting into next week's stuff, but yes, absolutely. Our pre-call
yeah,
process is so ridiculously in depth, you wouldn't even believe it. But at the same time, our show rate this week has been 99.2%. Right.
nice.
So
Yeah.
we send over about 18 emails pre-call, all about that are just answering common FAQs, educating people on how to get better results from lead gen, etc., etc. We have myself, these my closers every day for 30 minutes. They have to, every single call that's booked, call them. If they don't pick up, leave a voicemail, and then send a selfie video message from their iPhone, because iMessage sends it as iPhone, say, hey, my name's Dara. I'm the person you're going to be speaking to today. Just wanted to put a face to the name. Really excited to see how we can help you scale your firm. Speak to you soon. Boom. Like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Cause I literally, like, I sent a friend a video message this morning. Like, hey, how did that show up? Because I've never really sent anybody a video. Like, so I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to show up for somebody, if it's going to be just like a file or whatever. And they sent me back a screenshot. I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So great. Sounds like
in my calendar every day, I've got 15 minutes of send video messages booked out, because it's, as a marketer, you've got to focus on the highest leverage activity. And if you're doing client acquisition, your highest leverage activity after someone's booked a call is confirming the call and putting a face to their name. Everything else after that is not as important, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Like with these like reverse mortgage leads, like these older people, like it's tough to get them to answer the phone and all. Like they're just tough. But I feel like if I sent them a text, that might cut through the noise, and they'd be like, "Oh, he's a nice looking guy." You know what I mean? Like that might, yeah, cool, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, if you look at yourself and you don't consider yourself like objectively unattractive, then use that, okay? Because there's some, I'm not even joking. Like, you wanna know what audiences I resonate best with? It's black women between the ages of 35 to 45. For whatever reason, they can't get enough of Jacob Watson, right? And these people can't help but book a call on my funnels. I'm not even joking, right? So if you are not objectively unattractive, which listen, I'm not a looks maxer, so I'm not going to be the one to rate everybody today. But put yourself on camera, man. Just be brave, all right? Put yourself out there. Go do it. Basically, long story short. Cool. We got 10 minutes, and then I've got an onboarding call in 10 minutes. So I'm going to take 3 more questions, right? 3 more questions, and it better be a good one. Pablo, I love you, but you're out now. You've asked enough questions anymore. We can't cover them next week. Richard, you too, with love, my friend. We've covered a lot of stuff. Justin, I see you turn your mic on. Ooh, he ended himself. Let's do it.
Yeah, I got to get ready, man. Real quick, 'cause I know we talked briefly before the call.
Yeah.
So for my whole thing is everything that you're saying as far as marketing, client acquisition, everything makes sense.
Okay.
But for me is when you're selling to someone, say, okay, to get started, it's 100 leads to get started. But if you haven't seen that for yourself through your own testing, how are you able to sell that? That's like kind of like my problem.
I'm delusionally confident in everything I do.
Okay. So like, for example, for me, like this is all new to me. So like before, and this might be in your classes that's coming up, but like I have like a few leads that's coming in through my testing, right? But it's like, it's just, for me, it's just not enough for me to say, okay, this is what I can provide for you if I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it for myself.
Do you want the pretty way of saying this, or the ugly way of saying this?
No, straight up.
Grow up.
We say?
Grow up.
Say grow up?
Yeah.
Okay. In what way?
You seem like an intelligent, well-spoken individual. Okay. If I give you $1,000 and say make this into $1,001, can you find a way to do it?
Yeah, I found a way.
Stop asking me questions.
Okay. So, but the thing is, and as far as like, so you just make it happen, so you're not worried about percentages, how much ROI, things of that sort, or you just fulfilling it?
No matter. Grow up. Do it, man. Send it. Send it.
Okay.
What's the worst that happens, man? The worst that happens, you got to spend an extra $100 on what you expected to fulfill the order, but you've got a happy client who stays with you for life. You've acquired insights and you've acquired a client. Come on, bro. Send it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. If anybody here hasn't been punched really hard in their face, right? Go to your local boxing gym and challenge the biggest guy to a spar, right? Get punched in your mouth really hard, and then you'll realize nothing in life hurts as much as you think. I am not even joking. One of the biggest tells of your, like, I believe everybody in this call, everyone in life is on a pathway to become successful. Everybody, right? The problem is that a lot of people won't take action quick enough to see that success in their lifetime. Whew, right? The homeless person at the end of your street, you give him 1,000 years, he's going to be the richest person in the world. Of course he will, right? Will he make it that long? I don't know. I can't tell you. You can't tell him, etc., etc. So your job only, Justin, is to shorten that acquisition cycle of getting data and acquiring confidence, because confidence is an acquired skill. It's an acquired asset, right? Like, I didn't run ads really this time last year. Here I am today, talking to all of y'all. No, I did run ads, but it was mostly organic campaigns and sales teams I ran. What the hell are we talking about? A year later, right, Justin, if you're not coaching a group of people on how to make money from ads, then you haven't taken aggressive action like I did. So go ahead, find it out. See what you're made of, bro. Test yourself.
For sure. I appreciate it.
Cool. Who's next? We got 7 more minutes. Pablo, if no one else speaks, then you can go, bro. Oh, Chris Villarreal, he beat you to it, man. I'm sorry. Chris, go on.
Real quick, I just want to see if we could circle back. I think Josh asked about some like the lower budget ads, and I was also curious about that. I think you got distracted though.
Yeah, we'll cover it next week. We'll cover it next
that'll
week.
go next week. All right, sweet. I do have a follow-on question. I was just trying not to cut in front of Josh. It's regarding, you said that your closers are sending text message videos. How do you kind of juggle, like, you know, your automatic follow-up system that's sending out text message through a specific number, and they're getting text messages from these closers via their iPhone? How are you kind of keeping them from just getting bombarded by different numbers and just getting confused?
Do too much and then take away.
Okay.
Like, bias towards manual, and then as you start to acquire insights, then automate.
Okay.
One of the big fallacies of business in 2026, in my opinion, is everyone thinks AI/automation. Like, bro, come on, man. If everyone could do that, everyone's grand would be a millionaire. Like, there's obviously some work that needs to go into this, right? Like, first and foremost, when you get some leads, just send over 3 or 4 pre-call emails to frame them on the opportunity, why it matters, what you do, etc., etc., and then just bias towards aggressive action. Like, I've got a guy in my team his name is Budo, and his job is just to dial leads before they show up. That's his only job. And he makes 5% of whatever we cash collect just for, like, he will dial one lead 25 times in a day if that's what it takes to get one pickup, because we know our show rate per picked up lead is about 20% higher, which I am happy to take that trade off of that 5% or 15% in revenue for him going ahead and confirming that call. So bias towards manual actions, Chris, and then as you acquire insights on what's working, then you can automate.
Got it. Thank you.
Cool. Right, last question. Let's make it a good one. I might call on someone random here. Daffy Duck. Wow, who's that? That's crazy. Justin Chandler. Oh, Justin, you said you had a question before and didn't answer it, so go ahead. We'll make you the last one. Oh no, Justin, I just spoke to you, didn't I? Ignore me. Right, go on, Pablo. I know you got something that you want to ask, so go ahead, my friend. And by the way, for clarity, y'all should be more like Pablo. Acquire information aggressively, bro. Rate it. Let's go. Let's do it, Pablo.
No, I just wanted to show you the lander that I have and then kind of pick that apart. That's the only thing I kind of had in mind.
Let's do it. Share your screen.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know if it'll let me. Let me try.
We'll send the link in the chat and I'll share the screen.
Cool. Yeah. It's all in Spanish, so whatever you need me to translate, I got you.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look.
And the calendar has questions as well.
Okay. You
gotta look at it in like
right. So
press
first of all,
FN 12. It's like a completely mobile optimized, by the way, not really for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you press FN,
Okay, cool.
or if you're on a Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, how did you translate that shit?
I think Google just did it for me. Decent looking page. I'll tell you what, I don't even need to switch this to landing page to show you what you need to do. So first off, remove these buttons here. These will kill your conversions, right? We call it the herding philosophy, right? If you give sheep too many places to leave, then that's so stupid. But anyway, remove the buttons at the top. There's no need for them. They don't offer you anything, so get rid of that. That's first and foremost. Secondly, this is good. This is good. This is good. Bro, drive traffic to this? What are you doing? Sorry. No offense, but what on earth are you doing? This is like
That's literally what I
way
was sending in a link in the WhatsApp, just because I was getting cheaper leads. And then I was getting booked calls, but it just made the metrics really shaky.
Pablo. I ain't gonna say nothing else to you, bro. You know what you used to.
Okay.
Cool. All right, ladies and gents. I hope it has been genuinely helpful. My only intention here was to help everyone get a little bit richer in the time that we spent here together. I've enjoyed your guys' company very much. I hope you guys have somewhat enjoyed mine. That would be cool. Hopefully we can do this again. I'll be back soon to talk about some ad strategies that you guys can implement to go ahead and grow your offers and get more results, hopefully next week, and we'll go from there. If you've got any further questions, feel free to reach out in Skool. I'll be honest, I might not respond because I'm a very busy person, but hey, that's just me setting the right expectation. But if I do, then we're in luck. Outside of that, Southwest behavioral health, like what's going on, Sean? What are we doing? Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully it's been helpful. Drop some hype in the chat in the Leadbase Pro so Ryan gets me back here, and I'll see you guys next week. Cool.
Thanks, Jacob.
Salute. Speak to you guys soon.
Thanks, man.